Welcome to Tech Tip Daily, and today I'll be showing you a few tips and tricks on how you can always write the perfect prompt using ChatGPT. So simply open up your ChatGPT or your search browser and type in chat.openai.com or chatgpt.com and open up a new chat. Make sure you're logged in and you're at the correct URL. So what we're going to be doing is giving you a formula that operates under ChatGPT. That way you always utilize the exact proper format when creating a prompt. You know, when you utilize prompts that aren't accurately written, sometimes ChatGPT can get confused. So by following this formula, you're guaranteed to get the proper outputs when you give the proper input. So the format we use typically is this right here. So basically you have to explain to ChatGPT a task, the bigger picture, give it an example, ask for a specific persona, a style, and a tone. So we'll go over each of these and give you an example of how that would work, but you can use this right here as your template when creating prompts in the future. Take note, however, that when you enter it, you don't have to leave tasks. This is just to give you a visual framework. You can once you've actually written the task and what you're asking ChatGPT to do, you can go ahead and just erase it and do the same for each of these titles. This is just to give you a visual framework of what you are doing. So let's start with the task. So for the task in this example, we're utilizing generate a diet plan for someone trying to gain muscle. See, that gives the ChatGPT an idea of what we are doing exactly, and then we can go on to the bigger picture or greater context of what we're talking about so that it has more information. So then once that's done, we're going to get rid of the task and we'll move on to the next part. So generate a diet plan for someone trying to gain muscle. Now for bigger picture, we'll just go with a simple example. Let's just say I'm a 20-year-old male. I am lightly active, let's say, and go to the gym, let's say on average 3 days a week, and lift weights, let's say. And you can give it maybe one extra detail, I guess, that would be relevant to the context of this. But you'd want to generate something with context for the prompt that you're utilizing. Here we're talking about a diet plan. So we're saying I'm a 20-year-old male, I am lightly active, and go to the gym 3 days a week and lift weights. You can also include what you do for work, I guess. In this case, we'll say I work a desk job. And that's enough for it to at least get the gist of what we're going for in this case. So we can go ahead and remove bigger picture and move on to the next part of our prompt generation. So I'm a 20-year-old male. I'm lightly active and go to the gym 3 days a week and lift weights. I work a desk job. Then we're going to go for an example. So we're going to be asking it to give us an example. Well, we're going to be providing it with an example of what we're requesting it to give us, basically. Now in this case, for instance, I'll be saying I would like the diet plan structured like the image attached. And then we can go ahead and actually attach an image to make more sense for ChatGPT. So this is the image attached, just a weak diet plan that I found online. But it's just to give you an idea. If you had some other idea in mind, you can provide that too. But providing ChatGPT with an example will help it get a better understanding of the format that you're looking for, as opposed to just describing it. So if you have something to give it something to reference to, it'll do much better in generating the results and when you organize it this way with a prompt. Now the next part is persona. We want to basically give it some sort of credentials. So we can say you are a bodybuilder, because we're trying to build muscles. You are a bodybuilder and a diet expert with credentials in both fields, let's say. Making you a professional. And that way we ensure that we're getting it from a perspective of someone that's actually an expert. Also for context, it'd probably be smart to include the our weight. So let's just say I weigh 170 pounds, let's just say, and am 5'6". That way at least will give you more context for what we're requesting. Now in terms of style, what we can do is ask it the way that we want it to actually format what we're getting out of it. Now I personally don't want this to be a visual, so we're going to say I want it in text format that I can copy paste. That way it's just written here, or include a table in text. That way we actually get a visual here, and we don't actually have to download an image. And then you can go ahead and remove style, and we're basically giving it an idea of what we want it to actually put out. When you think about it, you can also do it in, for instance, a PDF format, a visual format, designed for an email. It's up to you how you want to ask ChatGPT to format it, but since it's something that we're going to be dealing with, kind of just for fun, there's no need to put it into those type of formats. It's literally just to see what it'll output. And then finally, the last part of the prompt generation we've got to work with is tone or emotionality, whichever one you prefer. And we can say, I want you to be a friendly, want you to speak to me in a friendly but assertive tone similar to a fitness coach. That way we actually, give it an idea of how we want it to speak to us, and then we can remove tone, and then our prompt is pretty much prepared and ready to go. So we can go ahead and click enter and see what it gives us. That way it uploads the image, able to see it. And then just like that, it actually generates the table like we requested, and we don't have the visual imagery that I told them not to do. So we can basically go and, if you want, copy paste this, or we can ask it for image generation if we want now. So then it gives us a breakdown on the coach's notes. Protein is king, aim for 30-40 grams a snack, eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. And it gives you the exact guidance we were requesting with the full meal plan that we were asking for. So the prompt gives us exactly what we were looking for. Now we can ask for an image generation if we actually did want to print it out for fun. So can you generate the meal plan into an image I can save? And then you can actually save it on your phone and have some sort of preparation ahead of time. But that's basically it. That is exactly how you're going to generate a prompt the perfect way. You have to go through each one that we spoke about to ensure that you're going to have every detail for ChatGPT to understand you perfectly. You essentially just give it the task that you're telling it to do. You give it some background information. You can provide it an example. That way it'll have an idea of exactly what you're going for. You can give it a persona. That way we know exactly what type of character it would be responding to us, as well as an emotional tone if you like that. And you can also ask it to format itself in a specific way, like for an email, or as we see here with our graphic example, or with the initial one that was done perfectly. This one's a little choppy, as we can see. Friday's felt a little weird, but it does give us pretty much what we were asking for. It's not perfect, but it's decent. Initially, we did prompt it for this, and that was done exactly as we asked, so just take note of that when you're doing it. Sometimes this might have to be edited or redone multiple times, because ChatGPT is very funny with images sometimes. Now, you don't always have to include every aspect of that prompt generation technique. You can always, disregard, for instance, asking for an example, depending on what you're looking for. It's not completely necessary, but every little detail that you provide ChatGPT with, the better it'll do. And following this technique at least guarantees some level of legitimacy and proper outputs. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and have a nice day.